37 weeks pregnant, parents show up unannounced and camped the night in our backyard. I'm 37 weeks pregnant and honestly at my limit emotionally and physically. My parents flew in from my home country to a state without informing us. They showed up at our home unannounced, expecting to stay with us. My husband and I were not comfortable with this situation at all, given how close I am to delivery and how much we've been trying to keep things calm and low stress. We made the decision to leave our home and go to a hotel for the night instead of letting them in or engaging in a confrontation. We didn't want things to escalate, especially this late in pregnancy. The difficult part is, they ended up staying outside our house overnight in the backyard area, and now things feel extremely tense, emotional, and out of control. We are from that culture, and there's a lot of cultural pressure and expectation around respecting parents. But at the same time, I feel overwhelmed and like my boundaries are being completely ignored. I feel torn between guilt, fear of conflict, and needing to protect my peace and my baby right now. My husband is supporting me, but we're both unsure what the right next step is. Do we talk to them immediately? Do we keep distance until after delivery? How do we handle this without it turning into a huge family rupture? Has anyone dealt with something similar? Especially with parents from that culture and pregnancy boundaries? I genuinely don't know what to do next.
How do we handle this without it turning into a huge family rupture? It's already a family rupture, but you didn't cause it, they did. Don't be guilted into thinking that any of this is your fault. You didn't escalate it. They did.
You know they did this to you on purpose. They've had every opportunity in the world to make plans and inform you of their visit. But they prefer to keep you off balance and out of control of your own life. They're manipulators, and they'll keep taking over your life if you don't find a way to put your foot down. You can have peace and angry parents, or you can have controlling parents and misery. You're going to need a backbone, either way.
My husband is supporting me, but we're both unsure what the right next step is. The next step is you call the police and have them trespassed from your property.
Tell them they need to leave your property. If they refuse, or take unnecessary amount of time to leave, call the police and have them trespassed.
Don't know what to suggest, but whatever you decide should be handled before your baby arrives. They'll use the baby as leverage against you guys.
Absent mom came back after 24 years. Now I'm expected to support her. My mom has been absent basically my whole life. My parents separated when I was a baby, and she left the country because of a legal issue. From then on, my dad raised me and my 3 siblings, my sister and 2 brothers on his own. She never supported us, financially or emotionally. My dad passed away from cancer, and that time was really hard on all of us. My siblings all helped where they could, but my oldest brother carried most of the financial burden for my dad's medical bills. He works in the medical field and was earning more than the rest of us, so a lot of it fell on him. I wasn't able to contribute much because I was still studying then, which is something I still feel guilty about sometimes. After my dad passed, my siblings asked my mom to come home, so she did. She has been staying with my sister for about a year now, and recently my siblings started talking about all of us contributing to her living expenses since she does not have a job. Recently, my oldest brother also wanted my mom to get her teeth fixed, and it would cost around $100K to get it done. Hearing things like that makes me feel even more pressured because I know expenses like that will eventually be shared among us. I know this might sound harsh, but I really do not think it is fair. I'm just starting my career and trying to build my own life, saving money and planning a future with my partner, including a house and eventually a wedding. It feels wrong to be expected to support someone who was never there for me in the first place. I also think part of the difference is that my siblings actually had both parents for a time, so I understand why they feel more connected to her and want to help, but I did not grow up with a mom at all. My sister was the one who stepped into that role for me, along with my dad. So it is hard for me to suddenly see this person as my mom and feel responsible for her. The hardest part is that I love my siblings and I do not want conflict. My sister understands where I'm coming from, but my older brother really values family and has always been the type to do everything for our parents without question. I know speaking up about this would hurt him or cause tension, and I do not want that. My other brother just goes along with whatever everyone else decides. So now I feel stuck. I will probably still contribute just to keep the peace, but I hate that I feel forced into it. I do not want resentment to build, but I also do not feel like this responsibility should be on me. I do not even see her as my mom, just my birth mother, and I wish my siblings could understand that a little more.
You don't owe an explanation to anyone, and sure, if you want to preserve the peace, pay whatever you can afford. However, you are not obligated. Your mother was not a part of your life, and feeling obligated to her is misguided. Parents are obligated to taking care of their children, not the other way around. She failed in her duty to you as a mother, and it's understandable to hold that against her. A tough situation for sure. Good luck to you.
You don't owe that woman any of your money. Your siblings are free to do whatever they want to do with their money, and so are you. Your eldest brother decided that your mom should get her teeth fixed, so he should pay for it all by himself. Learn how to say no, OP, because this is just the beginning. Make it clear they can't decide what you spend your money on. Say no, you don't want to contribute financially.
Just fly her to another country, fix her teeth and have a vacation, and then return. This will be only a small fraction of 100K.
Very hard to form an opinion on this, but your own gut knows best. You don't owe her anything for putting you on this world, and why forced are you not able to talk about matters like these?
Wait, what? Fix the teeth for 100K? In what currency?
Update, I talked to him. We met up and things took a turn. Hey everyone, thank you so much for all the advice and support on my last post. It really helped me clear my head when I felt like I was losing my mind. Since a lot of you asked for an update, here's what happened tonight. It's currently evening here in my country. About 2 hours ago, I finally stopped ghosting a friend and met up with him on his veranda. I decided to be completely honest with him. I told him everything. I felt the confusion, the shock, and even the internal conflict I experienced over the last few days without diving too deep into the old backstory, just focusing on my current feelings. To my surprise, he was incredibly understanding. He told me it's completely natural that I need time to process this. He admitted that he had years to come to terms with his own feelings, whereas this was dropped on me out of nowhere, and he apologized for not giving me the space I needed initially. I thanked him for being brave and honest with me. I reassured him that his secret is completely safe with me, no matter what happens, and that even if we don't work out romantically, he will always be my truest, closest friend. After talking through things, I decided it was time for me to head home. As I was getting up, he looked at me and said, "You don't want to kiss me. You said a part of you wished we could kiss again." He reached his hands out to me. I hesitated for a second, but then I leaned in and we kissed. This time, it was a bit more than just a quick kiss like the first time. Honestly, right now my head feels surprisingly clear. Experiencing that moment again made me realize that I actually enjoyed it. It's a huge sign for me that there's a very high chance I might want to take this step and enter a romantic relationship with him. For those who asked about my parents and their stance, they are like me, not actively homophobic, but not hardcore activists either. However, I am 100% sure that if a friend and I officially become a thing, they will support me because they love us both. I'm going to take a few more days just to let the dust settle and be absolutely sure of my decision before making anything official. Thank you again to everyone who cared enough to comment and give advice. Wish me luck. The good ending.
So proud and happy for you. And there is no rush to make it official. Most relationships take time to reach a level of certainty, even if the trajectory is to become BFs. Just be happy together and explore your love for each other. And know that being best friends gives you an amazing foundation to build a romantic relationship on. Most people are romantic first and have to build the friendship part as they go.
A happy ending. I wish you both the very best.
Glad to hear this. Wishing you all the best.
I'm happy for you, friend.
Adosh, for not wanting to help with house bills after my BF's mother claimed ownership of my dog. I am not Oop. Oop is these Nectarine 7815. Originally posted to AIT-AEsh and 2 hot takes. A Tash, for not wanting to help with house bills after my BF's mother claimed ownership of my dog. Editor's note, changed letters to names and added paragraph breaks for ease of readability. Trigger warnings: animal abuse divided by cruelty, emotional manipulation, entitlement, verbal abuse, possible financial coercion. Editor's note: the original post's body text was saved before it got removed. Original post, March 26, 2026. Sorry in advance for the length and/or any tangents I get into. For context, my boyfriend, M26, and I, F28, had to move out of our apartment back in August 2025 due to financial reasons such as job loss, and were planning on moving into and renting his parents' old house since they had just bought a new one. Come to find out 2 or so weeks before we're set to move, we were mostly packed by then, that change of plans. His parents were no longer together and his father would be staying in the old house instead. Our options were either the basement of the old house or a room basement of the new one. We chose the new house and moved in pretty quickly. As of today, we still only have access to one room for reasons I can explain later if anyone is interested, but it's not important right now. Back in October-ish, both of his parents sat us down and explained we needed to get jobs to help out. Now, originally, his mother had said we could stay at her house and save up for a new place once we were back on our feet. No plan of how much we would contribute was ever discussed. It was all very vague and sounded more like they just wanted us to save up and move more quickly, if anything. This family has a habit of being extremely vague when discussing anything of importance. BF even has issues telling details of previous conversations when I ask BC, "Why is that important?" or "We didn't discuss that." I was able to pass a licensing test I had been studying for previously and landed a job interview for November 2025 at the local hospital for my profession. The decision-making process for said interview took a while and I didn't end up starting work until mid-January 2026. But I have been working consistently since then and paying off debt as I go. BF was in the process of renewing his license but needed to take a certain amount of hours of classes in order to do so, which he has been doing painfully slowly, self-paced classes. To this day, he still has not completed that task and remains unemployed. He has high amounts of stress and likes to relax by playing PC games, which I get BC. I too love PC games and we often game together. But he will play all day until I get home and then switch over to his classes, sometimes and more often only if I bring it up. Now, for what's happened most recently, his mother and I got into a confrontation over a dog that came to live with us in January shortly before I started working. Petra, the dog, almost immediately started clinging to me and would follow me everywhere. At a family dinner, his father and sister even acknowledged that she was basically my dog and had chosen me by how she never wanted to leave my lap. His mother worked most days then and wasn't home often, so I got a lot of quality time with the pup. She later lost her job due to health reasons and has been unable to start a new one yet. And since I'm mostly working now, Petra spends the days with her in the living room until I come home. Petra sleeps with us at night as well, and her food and puppy pad is in our room. It has recently come to my attention that his mother was not using a leash when taking Petra outside to play. I brought this up to her and requested that she use one when she takes Petra outside. She took this as a personal attack on her skills in training dogs' intelligence. I tried to explain that I wasn't at all saying anything about her personally, just that accidents can happen and we live on a fairly busy road. Road in front of the house turns from highway to town right in front. So speed limit is 55 miles per hour and then drops to 40 miles per hour somewhere in front of the house. She could not comprehend this and instead got heated and called me a child and that I wasn't going to say it, but she knew what I meant, etc. Somewhere during this, I asked her if Petra was her dog as she was not listening to my wishes, and she responded vaguely that it was up to me whose dog she was but wouldn't give me a straight answer. BF was there for the fight, but he hates confrontation, so he was trying to tell both of us to shut up essentially and move on. Eventually, I realized there was absolutely no convincing this woman that I wasn't attacking her personally and disengaged. We were on our way outside. BCBF had spent the day making a fire pit with spare bricks from the yard for our 5-year anniversary that day. So we headed to the backyard. Obviously, I was a bit distressed and frustrated, so I took a seat by the pit and tried to calm down. I texted my mom, BC. I needed someone to talk to about the situation that wasn't my BF, BC. He is biased towards his family pretty hard and was already upset with me for starting a fight. I decided pretty quickly that I wanted away from the whole situation for a while, so I asked him if he could get my purse and jacket from the house so I didn't have to go back in, and we could have a fire the next day since I had to work that day, but would be off the next so we could stay up later for the fire. He agreed and came back out after a few minutes with my items, followed by his mother, who was still very angry and screaming that I couldn't take Petra anywhere in my car. I ignored her until she went inside and then got in my car with Petra and drove to my mom's to talk with her and vent. I brought Petra back later that night, maybe 2 hours later, and went to sleep. Got up for work the next day as usual and left Petra in our room sleeping with BF as usual. I recently set up cameras in the room so I could check on Petra and BF and the room in general as our door has no lock. I get a notification from the camera during my workday that a person was detected and look to see his mother opening our door and taking Petra from our room. Immediately, I'm furious at the invasion of privacy and call BF to talk to his mom and put Petra back in the room with him. I get no update until hours later that he is out in the living room with them and everything is fine. His words, "I can't do anything until I get off work." But when I got home, I immediately put my stuff in the room and then came back out and went straight for Petra on his mother's lap. She yelled at me and said I couldn't take Petra with me and put an arm around Petra to stop me from grabbing her. I went in anyway to take her and she pushed me down onto the floor and stood over me yelling. It escalated from there. I yelled at her about calling the police for assault if she ever touched me again and to never come into our room again. She yelled that Petra is her dog and goes where she says, and she has text messages showing where Petra was given to her specifically. BF has to physically put an arm between us and tries to calm us down, but he's not choosing a side and saying we were both in the wrong. Insults get thrown out on his mother's side. I never once insulted her or her character, and she threatens to call the cops to have me removed and that I need to get my crap out now, and BF called her childish for some of the things she said. Petra is cowering behind her on the chair, so I start calling for her, and she comes, of course, but is immediately snatched away by his mother. We were at a standstill for a while. I wanted Petra with me, and she wanted Petra with her. BF told me to go to the room. His mother also said that, but more in the way of go to your room, she's F44, BTDU. But I said not without Petra, and he said he'd be in there later with her, and I told him she better be in the room by tonight and left. I texted my family BC at this point. I'm convinced I've been kicked out and have nowhere to go and needed help, so I send out an SOS to try to figure things out. 9:10 p.m. BF comes in with Petra and explained that Petra has to spend the days with his mom and will come to the room to sleep with us at night. I'm obviously not happy, but I don't want to continue arguing, so we go to sleep. I'm off the next day, so I sleep in and block the door with something heavy just in case. We wake up maybe around 1 p.m. and BF says he got a text from his mom that Petra needed to be out of the room now. He pleads with me to just let her go out and that it wasn't my dog anyway, and it's her house, her rules, and that's the proper thing to do. I'm absolutely heartbroken at this point. BC, he's siding with her and claiming I'm the problem in the situation. I try to show him how she's being petty and knows Petra means a lot to me and is weaponizing her to hurt me, BC. She thinks I said something I didn't. BF will hear none of this, almost like he couldn't possibly think of his mother like that, and says, "We're both being ridiculous and Petra is not my dog, period, and to just let her go." I don't remember how he convinces me, but she leaves to go out in the living room with his mom, and I don't get her again until that night. The next 2 days proceeds in this way, but on one of them Petra came into the room during his mother's allotted time, and she screamed at BF to get Petra out now, etc. I tried to make him see reason, that Petra wanted to be in here with me, but he didn't care. Her house, her rules, and she's not my dog, so suck it up, basically. That hurt deeply. He said I crossed a line trying to get Petra from his mom's lap. He was in the other room when it happened and didn't see, and she claimed she was defending herself. She was in no immediate danger as I was reaching for Petra and not her. That was about a week ago, and since then, I have a tentative place to stay, but it hasn't been finalized yet. And there's also the issue of maybe getting Petra out of the house without his mother knowing when I move. I've come to realize at this point that she would have to formally evict me to get me out, and cops would tell her the same thing since I've been living here and get mail, established residency. I would like to get Petra microchipped so she is definitively mine. I even had a vet appointment set up for her shots when crap hit the fan, but couldn't go BC of BF's mother going batshit anytime Petra is out of her sight. Things have escalated since BF's mother isn't working. She hasn't been paying the bills, and right before the fight, BF said she asked him if he could ask me to contribute to any of them for her. He told me this after the fact, and I told him after what she said, that she's not seeing a dime from me. I took back all of my things from mutual areas, dishes, mop, and bucket, as she didn't have one when we moved in, etc. BF said I'm trying to start fights and told me to drop it and let her do what she wants. I haven't spoken to her since that last fight, and I told him I would stand up for myself and the fact that Petra is my dog. I've also asked him over and over to talk to her if he wanted peace so bad, BC. She's the one perpetrating the situation by restricting Petra so harshly and disrespecting me. He claims he did talk to her, but it would take time and I needed to give him time to work things out and settle everything back down, and then maybe after time she'll let me have Petra again. Forgot to mention, she claims Petra is hers until BF and I find a place together, at which case Petra would move with us, but she was most definitely not my dog. Here's where I'm asking if I'm to atch. I get a text from BF today asking if I can contribute anything, BC. Everything is about to be shut off in a few days, and we were about to lose everything without help. He said his father was coming over today to talk with us all about what has been going on. I asked him what that meant, and he said about us not contributing to bills. I reminded him that I wouldn't be doing that after what had happened, and he kept pleading and begging and claiming he'd pay me back, with what money, and that I need to pay for the amenities I use too. Also forgot to mention his father is finding out soon, like 2 days out soon, if he has cancer or not, so that's why he can't help with the bills, BC. He has no money either right now. And of course that's been hard on BF, BC. He is very close to his parents, and he's very sensitive to conflict of any kind. He claimed they weren't even mad about the dog thing, and it's really all about us not helping out, and asked me again if I could help. I told him I would absolutely not help, unless his mother stops with the restrictions and puts in writing that Petra is my dog. He told me to drop the dog thing and to do this for him. And really, it would be him paying BC, he'd be paying me back again, with what money? He claims I don't care about him or trust him, and that I don't get to make terms, conditions in this situation. He says that his dad had stormed off before I got home, BC. They were having a screaming match, and everyone was crying out in the front yard about the situation. Later discovered through BF that they had said some pretty lousy things to him about him not working and are using him to get to me, essentially. Like he needs to control me kind of thing. This was pried with much effort from BF, and he still hasn't told me fully what happened, what was said during the fight. I'm sticking to my no, and when I got home today, he was very moody and depressed. He hasn't spoken more than a few words to me and expects me to change my mind to fix everything for him, them. He said he's even considering if we will make it through this conflict, as in we are essentially breaking up if I don't pay the bills. He sees this as me freaking him and his family over and not caring what happens. I told him I wasn't going to be financially manipulated into paying anything. He's currently sleeping on the couch alone, has only come in to check on me to see if I've changed my mind. I haven't. So a ta for not wanting to pay the bills after all of this? Sorry for the long post. Sorry if it's not concise or doesn't make sense. Just please let me know, BC. I'm losing my mind here, and I feel like another crazy thing is gonna happen tomorrow or something. I'm constantly in fight or flight mode, trying to think of how I can safely get all of my things out of this house, and also them not taking any of my things to sell or throw away. He already floated the idea of selling a lot of his things to help with bills, and I work all the time in top of this happening. Ada has no consensus bot. Oop received mixed reactions. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, Esh. This wall of text is full of red flags attached to every participant. The overriding one above all is who goes to live with someone when they're out of options and goes out and gets a dog? Oop. Petra came to live with us while BF's mom was still working. She was found in a dumpster behind a gas station, and BF's sister brought her to live here with us. IDK about the texts saying she was given to BF's mom, but that's what she's claiming. As far as I'm concerned, since she was rescued and not adopted, she can legally be my dog if I get her chipped and vaccinated. Proof of care and such. Commenter 2. Then the sister is the dog's owner and gets to decide who she gifts Petra to. I really don't think you can claim Petra as yours specifically. Oop. What's funny is I'm my BF's sister's maid of honor in her wedding next year. Well, maybe not now that all of this has happened. Regardless, she was one of the first to say Petra is my dog. She claimed me. I wasn't even a dog person before this, but she convinced me she's my dog. Unsure, haven't checked in with her yet. But legally, if Petra is microchipped to me and I have established care with vaccines, vet visits, she would be mine. I'm just unsure if I should go through with doing all of that. Commenter 3, YTA for not getting the dog you've had since January chipped and vaccinated. You should have taken a sick day while the mom was working to handle that. If she was resisting giving the dog medical attention, it should at least have had a checkup after living in a dumpster. Take a long, hard look at how you handle responsibilities. You're living somewhere for free and you really couldn't take the dog to a vet. It's time to hand that dog over to a rescue. You're a bad pet owner. You're all weird and immature for putting that poor animal through all of this meaningless stress. On top of it all, you live there for free and refuse to contribute to bills. Pay some money for the utilities you use like an adult and go back to your family. Your boyfriend's family is falling apart and clearly none of you are mentally equipped to handle it. You all need therapy, and that dog needs a new home. You're all jerk. Oop. Found in a dumpster doesn't mean she was living in one. She was healthy and clean and came pre-potty trained, so clearly taken care of. She has a green mark on her belly showing she's been fixed previously, so I know she's been to a vet before. No one claimed her, so that's why we have her. Previous to all of this mess, I asked my BF if there was anything I could help with and to talk to his mom about me helping, and if so, how much. This was a month or so ago. He never let me know an amount or that she even needed help with anything. Communication tends to go through him since I'm working different shifts and tend to miss her at home. I agree. We all need therapy, LMAO. Thank you for your insight. Commenter 4. This family is a nightmare, and you should forget about the relationship with BF as it's either realistically already ended or it absolutely needs to. But I don't think everything can be laid at their door when they're dealing with pronounced poverty and possibly increasing medical bills any day now. A cancer diagnosis would be another horror on top. Yes, OP is probably correct about ending up on the hook for bills forever, but why not already contributing if living rent-free when the money troubles are obvious? But ultimately, it doesn't sound like the group is pulling together but is taking out their genuine stresses on one another. OP, you should pay existing share of bills and then leave forever without Petra, who is not your dog. Oop. It wasn't obvious though. Like I said, this family doesn't really discuss anything in detail. They hide a lot of what they're going through. Gatherings usually consist of sitting around a TV eating a meal and that's it. No talking unless it's about the weather or what they did that day. So I didn't know how bad it was with the bills. Last I'd heard, we were to live here rent-free in order to save for our own place. Them sitting us down in October was troubling, and I didn't fully understand why BC they don't talk or discuss, just vague things I assumed meant buy food or restock things as you use them, which I've been doing. Update, April 23rd, 2026, nearly 1 month later. I'm back with an update. The OG post got taken down in the ATA subreddit for cross-posting here, and so did the update for not asking for judgment, which I feel was implied, but whatever. Anyway, please judge away. So I've included it in this update for convenience. Update at end of post. Update, this was roughly a month ago. Since then, things have gotten worse. It had been really tense in the house. I would rarely come out of the room, and only if she had gone to bed for the night, so I didn't have to interact with her. I would also like to stress that getting Petra out of the house for any reason was extremely hard for me to do. I had to reschedule her vet appointment a few times. BF's mom would be home unexpectedly, or I wouldn't be able to leave work in time. I also would have to leave with her without BF knowing, which was also impossible. As the days went on, she seemed to loosen her rules to where Petra was spending whole days with me, which was nice, but also kind of shows that she's really only mad at me for standing up for myself and going against what she wants me to do, and not BC. She really cared about Petra being hers. I set up cameras in our room to catch her when she comes in to take Petra while I'm at work, which she hadn't done in a while due to me getting home before she did. She started a new job. That was until this past Friday. BF was gone from Thursday Sunday on a camping trip with the men of his family, so he wasn't home. She must have gotten let out of work early because I got a notification on the camera of a person in the room. She had let Petra out. Because of the no contact I had with her, I would avoid talking to her when I got home on my later shifts, and because BF was the one who normally went and got Petra from her when she went to bed, this would mean she would most likely keep her for the weekend away from me. It's important to note that Petra has not once spent a night without me since we got her in January. Like I said, she is my dog. This infuriated me, obviously. When I got home that day, Petra greeted me at the door, not what I had expected. Usually BF's mom would have Petra in her lap and not let her go to me. I swooped down, grabbed her, and left. BF's mom followed me once. She realized and yelled that I would be arrested for theft. But I ignored her and drove to my mom's house. IDK why this was the last straw for me. Why this made me realize my living situation was unsafe for both me and Petra. But it was. That night, I rented a U-Haul for the next day, rented a storage unit in town, and confirmed my 2 brothers and one of their friends would help me move. We definitely surprised her when we showed up. My first priority was my 2 cats I had left. Once I secured them, I went to walk out the door, but she stopped me and said I had better have everything I needed because I wouldn't be let back in. I know my rights as a resident, so I knew legally that wouldn't fly. The plan was to call the police if she gave us pushback during the move, so I pulled out my phone to call the non-emergent police line for help mediating, and while I was on the phone with them, she backed down and said she wouldn't lock the door, but that I would only have today, Saturday, to get all of my things out. I hung up my call. It was still going over the automated menu when she caved and continued what I was doing. My brothers were busy loading up most of the boxes from when we had moved previously, kept in her garage, except for the ones that obviously contained my BF stuff. I boxed up the bedroom. We got it done in 4 hours, from U-Haul pickup to drop off. I am now in a temporary living situation with all of my animals, Petra included. We are safe. I can walk to the kitchen and not have to worry about her being there. I can take my dog for walks and not worry if she would let me, or attack me, or yell at me. Nothing. I'm free. Petra has a vet appointment scheduled for my next day off where she will be vaccinated, looked over, and microchipped. I'm also registering her with the state. All legal ways to make sure she is once and for all my dog. Period. I am currently applying to every known pet-friendly apartment in town and hoping one of them won't care. I've only been working for 3 months at my current job. I have money saved from refusing to give any to BF or his mom. He asked me for money on my birthday, BTTU. Who does that? Also turns out BF's dad can help with bills and has been helping with bills. So the situation wasn't as dire as they were making it seem. I guess BF requested he be kept out of the situation when his mom messaged him frantically on Friday when I took Petra. I obliged, and he had no idea I had moved out until he got home Sunday. Relationship is currently tentative. Possibly non-existent, but there's not been any closure yet as he only wants to talk about me bringing Petra back. Not happening. Everything is really fresh, and I'm still pretty scared until I have Petra officially registered to me, so I might be dragging that on until everything is confirmed. His mother claimed she took out a protective order against me, ironic, and a lawsuit, and claimed I would be served by Monday. I still haven't seen anything to do with that, so I'm thinking she was bluffing or it got dropped due to lack of evidence, or maybe they can't find me, who knows. But if it is real, I'll file to get both dismissed. So that's it. I'm scared, but I'm out. I understand the consensus was ESH or NTA. It was back and forth. You may not agree with how I handled things, but I'm just glad I'm out. And Petra is with me. Thank you for reading my novel of drama, LOL, sorry. No TD, LR. This is too long to summarize. Overall, with this update, Ada, TAHATIA, relevant comments. Oop responds to a long thread. regarding Petra not being leashed in a fenced yard. Oop, not a fenced-in yard. Busy road started where the yard ended, mere feet from the house. There is no fencing anywhere around the house. She also has a pit bull that gets put on a chain, steps away from the front door when she's taken outside. BF's mom treats her like garbage. When she was working Stella, pit bull was locked in a crate all day. I tried taking her out a few times and even took her outside on a leash to run around for a few hours before BF's mom got home, but Stella was far too rowdy for me to control. Beef C, she never gets freedom. I think she goes crazy when she's given anything that's fun. When she did get home, she yelled at Stella, like yelled, to where I could hear in the room. It was horrific. That poor dog, I wish I could have taken her too, but I'm not that crazy. Made being in that house 10 times worse when she was home as well, BC. She did nothing but yell at Stella and smack her with a fly swatter. She claims not her hand. Stella was heavily restricted from doing anything a normal dog could and should do. Some days she was only allowed to sit on an armchair and not move. When I did come out of the room with her home, rare Stella would come up to me for pets, but the mom would scream at her like she had done something wrong. Didn't even give her a chance to do something wrong. That was before the fight, and when she still liked me, so it wasn't BC Stella came up to me. But BC, she didn't want Stella to jump on me, which Stella would do. BC, I don't discipline her for obvious reasons. BC of her treatment of Stella, I restricted Petra's time with his mother as much as I could. I couldn't trust her around Petra after what I've seen her do to Stella. That's why Petra was always in our room, typically with BF, who doesn't move from his computer. This is also why I don't like his mother, among other things. She's a horrible person. This is also why I have no regrets taking Petra away from her in that situation. I argued with BF on multiple occasions to talk to his mother about her treatment of Stella, but he has no backbone. I didn't want to start a fight, so I didn't talk to his mother about it. Not that it would do anything anyway. She takes any criticism as personal attacks and starts dramatic fights over it. Oop on her relationship with her boyfriend and him taking his mother's side. Oop. TBH, I felt the relationship die the moment he told me he was on his mother's side about all of this. I haven't officially ended it yet, BC, of the legality issue needing to be resolved with Petra and the possible non-existent protective order. It's tough to throw away a 5-year relationship cold turkey. I still care for him, like I know he can be a good person. He was when I met him. He's just been through a lot to get to this point of apathy. I don't see a future with him. I want kids, and his mother would make that a nightmare, and I wouldn't be able to rely on him to defend me and our children. I'll keep y'all posted though. Commenter 1, info. Who pays for the vet bills, pet food and such? Oop. I pay for all dog food, treats, toys, puppy pads, etc. She came to the house the same month I started working so I could handle those things. I paid for my food, my toiletries, etc. Just not traditional bills like they wanted me to. Petra has a morning routine with me, as do all of my pets. They get treats in the morning when I'm leaving for work. She came puppy pad trained, so only went outside to run around mostly. But even then, she didn't like being outside much. Wants to be carried always, very spoiled LOL. She's a small dog. I was unable to get her to the vet while I was living in the house, as I have stated. But I am taking her for vaccines and a checkup on my next off day. Appointment is already scheduled. She will get microchipped as well. The mother never cared for her until this drama happened. Like never really cared where she was, who fed her, if she was fed, etc. Clearly doesn't care for her well-being if she took her outside without a leash on a busier road. Texts are between BF's sister and mother. Sister picked up dog when no one claimed her on a FB page. Dog was found in locked dumpster area behind a gas station. Sister dumped her at mother's house essentially. Sister has lots and lots of animals of her own, but texts do not show established care like vet records do, like receipts for dog food treats to toys do. I have hundreds of photos of us together, days of her spent with me for proof. She is my dog. I didn't steal anything. Do not comment in linked posts or message. Oops. Boru rule number 7. This is a repost sub. I am not oop.
I think I hate everyone except for a friend.
I realized 10% of the way that I just don't care about this one.
Hey babe, I know we're living in your mom's house for free, but could you suspend your busy schedule of gaming all day and go pick a fight with her over a dog that I've decided is mine because your sister made a casual comment at dinner one night?
Okay, I stopped at this. Both of his parents sat us down and explained we needed to get jobs to help out. OPBF are 28 and 26 and need to be told to get a job and contribute to the household and not just be parasites. I had no desire to read further.
She also has a pit bull that gets put on a chain steps away from the front door when she's taken outside. BF's mom treats her like garbage. This will end well.
A A-Day for getting engaged a month after my fiance's sister and ruining her moment with my pregnancy. I, 24F, am currently pregnant. The pregnancy wasn't planned. It was a one careless weekend and now we're here kind of thing, but myself and my now fiance, 26M, are trying our best to get ready. For extra background, my fiance and I have been together for 4 years this August. Marriage has been something we have talked about and agreed on, but my fiance was always anxious about what ifs and wanting everything to be perfect. About a month ago, his younger sister, 25F, got engaged, and since then she's had a "this is my year" type mentality, and I have been all for it. Then we found out I'm pregnant. My fiancé took it as a sign he was being a chicken and needy to make that next step happen of getting married. So he proposed nothing flash or big. He recreated our first 2 dates and we ended the day with a BBQ at my parents' house. She had texted my fiancé how we overshadowed her and that between the pregnancy and the engagement we've stolen all the attention. She said she was tired of having to hear about us and how excited her aunts were while they were at her house helping her plan her wedding. My fiancé and I aren't even planning a wedding right now. Hers is next August, and we're kind of busy preparing for a baby. His sister has also always had a short fuse, especially when it comes to my fiancé. For example, last year when we all attended a wedding, my fiancé was kind of the life of the party. Dancing, socializing, getting other people hype and dancing was literally voted life of the party by the bride and groom. The next morning at breakfast, his sister went in on him, calling him embarrassment and attention-seeking. My fiancé has a lot of social anxiety and I finally understood why. But to the main issue, we recently stayed with his parents for a weekend because they wanted to celebrate the pregnancy and the whole first grandchild. Most of the weekend was great. We went to the beach, hikes, dinner, but the whole time his sister was visibly upset and making aside aggressive comments everyone mostly ignored. Things really blew up while I was washing dishes. His mom came in to tell me how I shouldn't be doing that and that I should be resting. His sister laughed and said, "I thought we weren't supposed to roll out the red carpet for unwed, unplanned pregnancies." His mom screamed her name, and I responded with asking what her problem was. It turned into an even bigger argument and screaming match where his mom was crying, trying to pull his sister away, and both fiancés and his dad came from the den to see what was happening. After my fiancé told me I shouldn't have responded to her and made everything worse in an already stressed relationship. Part of me feels bad because I know things get really intense with his sister and that conflict really hurts and messes with him, but also another part of me feels like I shouldn't have to just take her attitude just to keep the peace that clearly isn't there.
I'm sorry, you are engaged to a chicken. Even your mill tried to stand up for you while your fiancé is just blaming you. NTAOC.
NTA, but your fiancé is. He should be stepping in to defend you. So there would be no need for you to respond, especially since you two are planning on welcoming a baby. He needs to be on your side. You two should be working as a time to protect each other and your child, and at least in this incident, he is not doing his part.
Info. What is it that you actually did that you think might make YTA?
You have a future husband problem. How crappy that he blames you and not his sister.
Info. Your fiancé told you you shouldn't have responded? What has he been doing to defend you from his sister?
Husband abandoned me in another country with children after bringing us from our previous country. Need legal advice. I created this account to seek advice because I am genuinely confused and scared about my situation. I am a 28-year-old woman married to my husband, 33M, for 5 years. We have 2 children, 4M and 3F, who are citizens of another country. My husband and I are citizens of my home country. We lived in another country until last year, when my husband suddenly brought us back to our home country saying we should start fresh. Our marriage started deteriorating after my pregnancies, especially after my mother-in-law began staying with us for long periods. There was constant conflict, emotional withdrawal, verbal abuse, and long silent treatment from my husband. Last year, he physically hit me for the first time. I informed my parents and warned him that I would go to the police if it happened again. After returning to our home country, my husband dropped me and the children at my parents' house and has mostly stopped communicating with me. He refuses meaningful discussions about reconciliation, finances, or the children's future. I later discovered that he accessed and exported my private chats and emails without my knowledge and has been selectively sharing messages with relatives to portray me negatively. He and his family have also come to my parents' house multiple times, shouted at me publicly, and created scenes in front of relatives. He quotes my messaging app chats as proof, mostly me venting to my mother after a fight. At the same time, he tells others he wants the children but does not want to stay with me. Despite this, he has not met the children or even spoken to them on video calls for months. He keeps telling everyone that I was abusive and he is scared to live with me. Some additional concerns: I am unemployed and financially dependent. I do not have direct access to family finances and suspect he may be hiding assets. He claims to have made significant money through trading. He currently has my passport and my children's passports. My children's visa status documents may soon require renewal. My family wants reconciliation and is discouraging legal action for now. A family friend who is a lawyer advised me not to rush into filing anything immediately, but I'm worried that my husband is already planning things legally or financially. My questions are: 1. What legal remedies are realistically available to me in my home country right now? 2. How can I start protecting myself financially and legally without immediately filing for divorce? 3. How can I seek child maintenance interim support? 4. What should I do if he is hiding assets or planning to leave the country? 5. What legal steps can I take to recover my and my children's passports? 6. What should I do regarding my children's visa passport renewals if he refuses cooperation? 7. What should I prioritize first in this situation? I would really appreciate any advice or guidance. Thank you.
You can file for lost passport and get a new passport for yourself and your children with address proof.
Find a lawyer who is not a family friend and can give you independent advice.
You need a lawyer.
Hi, was in a very similar situation. Connect with me if you wish. I can tell you about my situation and the way I am trying to move forward.
He got you back to the country because he would be in prison and there would be restraining order against him if the matter had gone to the police.
Ada for insulting my ex-husband's wife when she tried telling me how to feed my kids. I'm a divorced mom with 2 kids, 11 and 10. My ex-husband and I share custody of them. We communicate strictly through an app, unless we're at the same event for our kids. His wife and I do not communicate, period, unless it's at an in-person event for the kids, and I do my best to keep communication with her to the absolute minimum. We deeply dislike each other, and there's conflict with my ex and myself, and with his wife and myself. The reason for this might not be relevant, but for full disclosure, his wife was the other woman in our marriage. When I found out about it, I kicked him out and filed for divorce. He started seeing her but tried to win me back. I let him believe it was possible and told him he needed to break up with her and cut all contact. He did this, but then I told him I wasn't ever getting back with him. I told him I could never be with someone who behaved the way he had for over a year that I know of. He never forgave me for that. She never forgave me for his willingness to leave her for me. It's something she never got over, and she has told many people what happened in the years since. She has said she wants everyone to know how petty I was to try and destroy their relationship for crap and giggles. She forgave him though, and they got back together and married. He has cheated on her twice, and she blames me, of course. All of this should explain why I keep my distance whenever possible. The issues of late have been over food. I cook and feed my kids a big variety of things, but in order to save money and have less waste, I buy frozen vegetables, and for smoothies, I buy frozen fruit as well. I really only buy some fresh fruit when it's something my kids and I eat versus drink. My ex-husband's wife has her own garden and grows her own vegetables. She's very loud about fresh being best and how disgusting frozen vegetables are and how they're so much worse for you than fresh. She believes all the value is gone when something is frozen, and I know this because she debates it with other parents. She has believed for a while now that her food is far superior to mine and that she is the better person in their lives because she feeds them fresh fruits and vegetables every single day and that nothing frozen is allowed in their house. Apparently, there have been several times where she has asked my kids whose food they like better, hers or mine. They always say mine. They have told her they always finish the food I make, and apparently they never finish the food she makes. It got under her skin the first time and has only buried itself deep under there the more she has asked. The kids told me about it a couple of times, and they always made it clear she asked, and they didn't just say it to be mean. She has confirmed it herself that she has asked and has at times followed up with, but they eat so much of her food, so they pointed out the difference. She's blaming this on the fact I'm feeding them frozen, and for some reason she believes this makes them so much worse, and she likened it to me feeding them fast food takeout or frozen pizza every night. She said it's the only thing that could explain the difference. She brought this up when we were left waiting to meet with my son's teacher. My ex was also present. The kids weren't present for this, so I'm perfectly clear. But the more she ranted at me, the funnier I found it. But then she told me I need to step up my mom game and start giving my kids real food and cut the frozen crap out. So I told her I didn't have to take any advice from her on how to feed my kids, and I wouldn't take advice from a nut job who thinks freezing a vegetable is somehow the exact same as fast food. I also implied she must be a lousy cook if the kids have told her they prefer everything I make, which is what she claimed also. She and my ex told me I'm not supposed to speak to her like that. After we finished with the teacher, they demanded an apology, but I just got into my car and left. He followed up through the app asking for an apology for his wife, saying that my insults toward her were unjustified and were not acceptable in any way. I simply ignored it. But I wonder, Eta. NTA, you were much nicer than man. I would have made a snide comment about how she thinks so poorly of herself. She keeps taking everyone else's sloppy seconds.
Follow up in the app that you were only responding to his wife's constant, repeated insults of you. For the record, NTA.
There are actual studies that support frozen over fresh veggies and fruits for better nutritional value. Freezing closer to harvest helps prevent nutritional loss and may actually be healthier, so nothing like a fast food restaurant, lol, LOL. She seems determined to find fault in anything to be better than you. I wouldn't engage in her petty crap, NTA, and no apology necessary.
This is really funny because her fresh vegetables should taste better than your frozen ones. Not by a lot, and not necessarily every time. But there should have been at least one meal with fresh veggies that your kids really enjoyed. So either she is a terrible cook, or your kids just kinda hate her. Probably both.
NTA 1. You had kids with your ex. It is he you co-parent with too. Why the heck was she at the parent-teacher conference? 3. Petition to get your custody order changed to clearly outline things like communicating only with your ex. Period. Things like stepmom attempting parental alienation in this hostile of a co-parenting relationship. With the exception of graduations, awards, etc. There is no reason for you to be forced to endure time with her. At all.
My childhood best friend, 19M, just confessed his love and kissed me, 19M. I am so lost and confused right now. I'm a 19-year-old guy and I have a lifelong best friend. Let's call him a friend. We've known each other since we were toddlers in daycare. He is literally like a brother to me and our families are extremely close. Personally, I've never had any issues with the LGBTQ community, and I believe everyone should be free to live their life. Once, someone asked for our opinion on the topic, and I said, I'm not against them, but I don't actively support them either. However, my friend got super angry back then, said they were disgusting, and started talking bad about them. Nobody really questioned him because most people in our environment are against it anyway, but over time, I noticed my friend acting really strange. Whenever I started talking to or dating a girl, he would intervene and completely ruin my relationship with her. At first, I thought it was just regular jealousy between friends, or that he was worried girls would take me away from him, but it got way out of hand and we had a massive fight. He denied everything, got upset, and we stopped talking for a while. Because our parents are close friends, they stepped in and made us make up. My friend then invited me over to his place to play PC games like we always do, and we drank some alcohol, which lowered our guard. While we were just chilling and talking, he suddenly looked at me and said, "John, I love you." I laughed it off, thinking he meant it as friends, so I said, "I love you too, bro." But he looked at me dead serious and said, "No, I want my future to be with you." My brain froze completely, and I was trying to process the shock before I could even make any reaction. He leaned in and actually kissed me. I was stunned, pushed him away immediately, grabbed my stuff, ran out of the house, and went back home. This happened a few days ago, and since then he has been calling and texting me like crazy, but I've been ghosting him because I'm completely lost. At first, I told myself there's no way I could love a guy or love him that way. But the big shock, which is making me feel so much cringe and fear of myself, is that I can't get him out of my head. And a part of me deep down is actually wishing we could kiss again. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I feel like I need a psychiatrist, and I have no idea how to deal with my friend or how to face these feelings. It's currently evening here in my country. About 2 hours ago, I finally stopped ghosting my friend and met up with him on his veranda. I decided to be completely honest with him. I told him everything I felt, the confusion, the shock, and even the internal conflict I experienced over the last few days without diving too deep into the old backstory, just focusing on my current feelings. To my surprise, he was incredibly understanding. He told me it's completely natural that I need time to process this. He admitted that he had years to come to terms with his own feelings, whereas this was dropped on me out of nowhere, and he apologized for not giving me the space I needed initially. I thanked him for being brave and honest with me. I reassured him that his secret is completely safe with me, no matter what happens, and that even if we don't work out romantically, he will always be my truest, closest friend. After talking through things, I decided it was time for me to head home. As I was getting up, he looked at me and said, "You don't want to kiss me? You said a part of you wished we could kiss again?" He reached his hands out to me. I hesitated for a second, but then I leaned in and we kissed. This time, it was a bit more than just a quick kiss like the first time. Honestly, right now my head feels surprisingly clear. Experiencing that moment again made me realize that I actually enjoyed it. It's a huge sign for me that there's a very high chance I might want to take this step and enter a romantic relationship with him. For those who asked about my parents and their stance, they are like me, not actively homophobic, but not hardcore activists either. However, I am 100% sure that if my friend and I officially become a thing, they will support me because they love us both. I'm going to take a few more days just to let the dust settle and be absolutely sure of my decision before making anything official. Thank you again to everyone who cared enough to comment and give advice. Wish me luck. Essentially, tell him what you told us without the backstory.
Whatever you want to do, make sure you do it. You don't want to be like me and live 10 years of regret wondering what if, because you were too scared of repercussions, and because you didn't love yourself enough.
Meet with him and kiss. The feelings you will feel will tell you all you need to know if there is an opportunity to love and be loved in return, and to form a loving, caring partnership. Don't pass it up.
You should listen to what her heart says. Like you said, you want to kiss him again, so go for it.
Let him know you don't hate him, and tell him how you feel confused and maybe need some time. It is confusing. You didn't do anything wrong, but to continue ghosting him is wrong.
Update. 1 year after my mom filed a retaliatory CPS report against my family. Trigger warning: if you're sensitive to details about a traumatic birth, I would read this with caution. I posted here previously, I'll link the old posts below, but I'm the one whose mother retaliated against completely normal pregnancy postpartum boundaries by filing a false CPS report against my family after my first baby was born. When I confronted her because I immediately recognized the tone and oddly specific criticisms used in the report, she admitted it in writing. Her exact reasoning was that she wanted to teach us a lesson because rules like this are not normal in normal families. That was the end of the relationship for me. The timing of it also effectively destroyed my first Mother's Day and my husband's first Father's Day because she pulled the stunt literally the week Mother's Day. I wish I could say my second Mother's Day this year felt better, But honestly, it didn't. In some ways it was peaceful, but in some ways it was horrible. I genuinely did not want to celebrate. I explicitly told my husband, please don't get me anything or plan anything, and I truly meant it. It wasn't some hidden test or say the opposite and hope he surprises me anyway thing. The only things I wanted were a handwritten card, takeout from my favorite place, and an NSFW request that would probably get me banned from this subreddit. What can I say, LOL? I got my 6-week clearance from my OB and have zero self-control when it comes to him. For real though, this holiday just feels poisoned right now. Not only because it's the anniversary of what my mother did, but because about 6 weeks ago I had an extremely traumatic birth with my second daughter that very realistically could have killed both of us. I had a prior C-section because my first daughter was breech, but on paper I was considered a good VBAC candidate. Nobody thinks they'll become the less than 1% catastrophic complication statistic until they are. I was 8 centimeters dilated and felt totally fine because of the epidural when they casually but urgently told us her heart rate has been slowing down for about 10 minutes. We suggest moving to a repeat C-section. Okay, no big deal. My first C-section had been relatively easy. As my husband was scrubbing up, I felt what I can only describe as my insides being chainsawed apart. Then was being bolted down the hallway while doctors screamed some of the scariest crap imaginable, like, can't find fetal heart rate, keep trying, mom is going into shock, run faster. Then anesthesiologist was screaming, get me propofol now, then lights out. Meanwhile, my husband had absolutely no idea what was happening. There was a 2-minute gap between him casually texting his mom, ugh, emergency C-section, scrubbing up now, and the time my records say the epidural was unplugged. He paced the hall for over an hour, having a full panic attack, begging every staff member who walked by, please just tell me if my wife is alive, but nobody would tell him anything for an hour. Thankfully, my daughter is here, healthy and doing well. Physically, I survived too, and I'm physically great. I will never call a section the easy way out, but both times I truthfully can say I physically felt better than I did at the end of pregnancy. Mentally is another story. I honestly don't think I've fully processed it yet. And ever since the birth, one specific line from my mother's email keeps replaying in my head. Nobody lives forever, and I refuse to live with the guilt of what I could have said or done once a loved one is no longer here. Ironically, she said that in reference to my estrangement from my grandmother, her mom, not the CPS report itself. But after nearly dying, I keep thinking, what if I hadn't survived? What if the last thing my mother ever did to me was weaponize CPS against me because I asked for normal postpartum boundaries? I'm fairly sure she knows what happened by now through various third parties. I was heavily sedated after surgery and later realized one of her childhood friends commented on my Facebook birth announcement saying she hoped I was okay after what happened. At the time, I barely even registered who I was replying to because I was so drugged and out of it. So now I keep wondering, like, would something this catastrophic ever make a person like this stop and think, oh my God, my daughter almost died. What the heck have I done? What the freak is wrong with me? Or do people like this simply never reach that level of self-reflection? Now that I have 2 daughters of my own, that's the part I truly cannot wrap my mind around. When I look at my 21-month-old and my newborn, I cannot imagine weaponizing a state agency against them someday because they hurt my feelings or parent differently than I would. I can't imagine taking normal boundaries as some unforgivable personal attack. I can't imagine trying to teach them a lesson through fear and state intervention. Even if my future adult children move away, parent differently, set boundaries, or make choices I wouldn't personally make, I cannot fathom reacting like this. I cannot imagine utilizing a stage agency against them unless I literally walked into a nuclear wasteland Breaking Bad meth lab style of a home, and even then, I would try every other possible intervention method first. So that's the question I keep painfully circling back to. Did she ever actually love me at all? If she truly believed the lies she wrote in that CPS report that I was negligent, unsafe, blindly loyal to an allegedly dangerous husband, etc., wouldn't a normal person at some point stop and ask, how did my daughter supposedly become this way? And then realize, I'm the one who raised her. Or again, is accountability simply impossible for people like this? A lot of people in my previous posts asked about the legal side of this, especially because my mother works for a state child welfare agency. Not directly as a CPS investigator, but still in an internal role with mandated reporter status, and used her knowledge to purpose word the report in a way that would get it to be taken seriously, despite having never met our daughter. So for anyone wondering, yes, the next step is a restraining order. In Florida, judges can order administrative employment reviews if they believe circumstances justify it. The only reason I waited this long is because I did not want to put myself through legal stress while pregnant or immediately postpartum after a near-fatal birth. My husband, daughters, and I are about to visit my in-laws in the next few weeks, but once we return, I'm filing everything. I already have everything prepared and documented. I just need to submit it. Things can move fast once submitted, and I don't want to risk any court date conflicting with the trip. At this point, I'm simply exhausted of living in hypervigilance. I hate her, I hate what she did to my family, and I don't understand how someone could do such a thing to their own child. You EDH may want to update your wills to nominate legal guardians for your girls, specifically bar your mother, flying monkeys, and briefly explain the reason for them not being chosen guardians. Congratulations on your healthy family.
So now I keep wondering, would something this catastrophic ever make a person like this stop and think, oh my God, my daughter almost died. What the hell have I done? What the freak is wrong with me? Or do people like this simply never reach that level of self-reflection in the case of my mother? The answer was that no, she never reached a point of self-reflection. If she did, I can only guess she didn't like what she saw and rejected it to instead double down on the threats.
OP, your mother is a dangerous woman. She really tried to justify what she did as teaching a lesson? I'm glad you cut her off.
What can I say, lol? I got my 6-week clearance from my OB and have zero self-control when it comes to him. Lol. I thought I was the only one.
Sending you love and support. May your kids and husband love you unreservedly.